My name is Frankie, and I will be talking about how sound is used in film and TV. The history of sound first goes back to 1900 with the first public screening in Paris, but it still took many years before synchronisation was brought into film. The first time that fully synchronised sound was introduced was in April 1923 in New York. The history of sound in film began with the era of silent films in the early 1900s. Silent films were originally accompanied by live music and sound effects, but had no recorded synchronised sounds. In 1927, the jazz singer made a significant transition in the history of sound as it finally introduced synchronised sound into a film after centuries of silent films with only music and sound effects. This came populated by the term known as talking pictures, revolutionising the sound, eventually phasing out silent films. Over decades, developments in sound technology have been introduced into a film and TV. This can consist of stereo and surround sound, which have enhanced the cinematic experience, also adding things like depth and dimension into the film world, allowing for more realistic soundscapes in films. In classical and early cinema, films relied on portraying their story through visual storytelling, but was sometimes hard for viewers to interpret what was happening in the film. Whereas filmmakers also used music to help tell their stories and enhance the impact of their storytelling. During this period, filmmakers started to use different techniques to make sounds such as rattling chains or breaking glass. This could also be seen as early forms of Foley, years before it was ever commercially used in film and TV. In the late 1920s, sound on disc technology is brought into the film and TV world, allowing synchronised sound recordings with a projected image at the same time. This being a massive jump from silent films with only backing music and sound effects. While most films in the late 1920s were still silent, there was various synchronised musical sequences and limited dialogue. However, a new technology was released called the sound on disc, which involved recording sound onto phonograph records, which were played whilst the film projection was going on. Although this method did have its limitations, the synchronisation between the sound and image was often imprecise, leading to inconvenience in the viewing experience. Overall, sound in film and TV has developed massively in early and classical cinema, bringing joy to our ears as we watch the films in the modern day.